Well, recording is now in progress. Good evening and welcome to
I heard that voice.
Weekly. Yes, absolutely. So, welcome to Super League Raw Weekly. Obviously, we've just done a tribute to James Roby on Take One. For those of you on YouTube that are watching this who missed the James Roby tribute, it is on YouTube at 9 o'clock this evening. So by the time you're watching this, you will be able to see James Roby's tribute. We've also just paid tribute to Kevin Sinfield, who, of course, was remarkable with Rob Burrow at the weekend. And yeah, that's really caught us a bit off guard and by surprise. We do say it's raw, and by God, was it raw.
I'm just intrigued that there's 250 locations, and we arrived to 250 houses in the UK.
Well, no, I think actually it's no, because we get thousands every week. I don't know. Something weird just happened there. Yeah. Odd, but anyway, we're just getting bigger. And actually, speaking about that, it's probably a good time for me to say this. This week, we've had over this month, in the last 28 days, we've had over 400 new members to Super League Raw.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Which is unbelievable. It's probably one of our biggest months ever in terms of growth, certainly in the last 3 years. We're now over 3,200 people, which is great and growing. So thank you, one and all, for that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Much appreciated, people. Keep spreading the news.
And Steph Sale, our resident from Lee Leopards, he's really raised the gauntlet to our members, because me and Greg will be in the Legends Lounge at Lee for the league game, and he's also buying us our tickets to get into the Warrington end as a thank you for all that we do on Super League Raw and for what we've been doing in terms of Lee Leopards this season. So the gauntlet has been thrown down. Me and Greg are going to be Steph's guest of honour at the Leopards this coming, a week on Friday. Marvellous.
I hope we don't disappoint.
No, I hope we don't disappoint in the flesh. But there you go. And Steph, really appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much indeed.
You know when they say really bigger people are smaller on TV. I'm not.
Well, not us.
we're the Ant and Decker Super League.
Absolutely. But anyway, sincerely, thank you very much. Indeed.
No, that is brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yeah, outstanding. So, let's get into some action, shall we? We've got got a couple of bits of news to do, but let's get into the tries of round number 12. Let's do that now. Here we go.
Seize the day.
duties there, Reggie, it has to be said. Some sensational rugby league played this weekend, of course. Yeah. Some absolute belters there.
Oh, mate, yeah. I think we could have had more Leigh tries in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, Leigh, I mean, absolutely.
No,
I mean,
I
thought Lambs was good, but, Charlie's first, just what Charlie does.
I mean, my favourite was Ryan Brearley's for Salford.
Nice.
Great try.
1-2 with Watkins.
At that point, I thought Salford were going to pull off a shock.
Yeah.
Matty Ashton's was a good try. Brody Cross was a good try.
Yeah. There weren't many bad ones in there, mate.
Makinson again, a great finish.
Mate, that was lovely. I mean, Wormsley off his knee, superb, absolutely superb.
I was watching that and we were shouting, he's tackled. Wormsley's tackled. How can he give that? And you see the replay and you think, wow. Yeah, for a big fella to do that, that's incredible. Yeah, so fair play.
The last 2 weeks, he's
just something that I know we've already spoke news-wise, but there was a lot of things on social media about the Leeds fans at the Wigan game on Thursday, and something's cropped up this week, and it concerns Warrington. I know you might find this, a lot of you might find this bit dull because it's Warrington, but they've changed the Warrington Leeds game to Thursday night. Sky have asked for it to go to Halliwell Jones.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, there was an appeal from a local school here that said that they'd had their prom. These are year 6, 11-year-olds. They'd had their prom booked at the Halliwell Jones for that night, and now they've been kicked out because of Sky's decision. And, I don't think anybody's a fan of...
No, that's not good.
It's not the club's fault.
No, it's not. It's not. No,
and it's always in the small print. Whenever you book anything, any rugby ground.
Yeah, but I'd have thought. But I have to say, I'd expect that Warrington will switch it from Thursday to Friday for him. I would have thought.
Well, I don't know. I would like to think that Warrington would pay for another venue, at least.
Oh, well, why should Warrington? It's Sky's decision.
As a gesture of goodwill.
No, absolutely. I'll just switch it to Friday. But again, it just shows the nonsense that is Sky.
It is. And people are slagging off clubs for the fans not turning up on a Thursday night. And it's not the fans. You cannot get over the M62 on a Thursday night. If you've got work on a Friday morning, you are looking at getting in at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning for an 8 o'clock kickoff. If you're at Hull or Hull KR or Leeds or Castleford. And and I know why Sky are doing it, because they want bums on seats and eyes on screens.
Yeah.
But it's not a good advert for the game when grounds are half full because of when the games are being played. So please, I know the TV contracts are being considered. Let's have a broadcaster who considers not only the fans, but the sport itself and wants to advertise the sport. Channel 4.
Yeah.
I've done a great job. I've done a great job. And they're getting a game on Saturday afternoon when... the crowd on Saturday wasn't brilliant, but for a Salford game, it was pretty good.
Was indeed.
And that's no disrespect to our Salford watchers, by the way.
No,
absolutely. Rant over.
Yeah.
Rant over.
Right, in terms of good evening to Ryan Birch, good evening as always to Alex Sharp, Greg Roach, Graham Parrish, Dave Wright, to name but a few that are with us this evening. Good to see you fellas. Welcome as always. Right, just a little one. We put a post out earlier in the week on this, the comings and goings and the repercussions of Hull FC. We know Hull FC are in the market were in the market for Sam Wood. A lot of rumours going around that he's going to be picking Castleford over Hull FC. That's a bit of a surprise considering where the two are in terms of form. Obviously, money is a factor here, we believe. But yes, Sam Wood looking like he's going to turn his back on Hull FC.
Yeah, well, I'd say that's a good signing for Castleford if it comes off.
Yeah, we like
we like Sam Wood. He's a good player.
That'll hurt Tony Smith, of course, a player that he had at Hull KR. The fact that he's decided to go, mate. I mean, it's not confirmed yet, but a lot of talk that Sam Wood and Jody Crowther of Wakefield Trinity is heading that way as well.
Yeah, our Wakefield kind of biting the bullet here, and you don't know, do you? But yeah, two good signings if they do come off for Castleford.
Yeah, Alex Sharp going in here. He's given us one saying that Sam Walters is on his way to Wigan from Leeds.
Yes, I've heard that.
Have you heard that? I've not heard that one.
Yeah, I think that was around last week at kind of Wednesday, Thursday last week.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Big blow to Leeds, that.
Big blow to Leeds. Big blow to Hull. Chris Satai going to Catalan. That's going to be announced, we believe, relatively soon. The big fella heading over to the south of France.
Yeah, now, I was thinking he might have been a perfect replacement for McKaylee at Warrington.
Yeah,
but,
Warrington put cold water on it.
He is I think he's a perfect signing for Catalan. He's the perfect fit for Catalan and the players they sign. So it makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
And then the top graphic, this one really starting to gain momentum. Brad Dwyer, rumoured to be on his way back to Warrington as the Darrell Clarke rumour mill grows in intensity. A lot of conversation coming out of Warrington, various sources saying that Clarke will be off to Saints at the end of the season, either a 2 or a 3 year contract. Warrington did offer him a deal, I'm led to believe, but it would appear that Clarke will be off to Saints, and that will open the door potentially for Brad Dwyer. I mean, we were talking before we came on air. Dwyer, of course, signed for Hull FC prior to Tony Smith being announced as their manager. Had a big fallout with Smith at Warrington.
Yeah,
does that have something to do with it? I don't know.
I mean, apparently a couple of weeks ago, somebody in the Saints media office put a picture of Clarke on their social media saying 2-year deal signed, and was forced to take it down almost immediately. So I'd be sorry to see Clarke go, but Danny Walker's done a great job this season. You can't keep Danny Walker on the bench for much longer.
No,
and Danny Walker's the beginning of his career. Daz Clarke has been a brilliant player, whether for Castleford or for us. Wish the fella all the good luck in the world if he goes to Saints. With Brad Dwyer, last season there were games for Leeds that he actually turned the game when he came on.
100%. Very, very potent off the bench. A bit of news coming in here. Greg Roach. Good evening, Greg. Saying that Owen Trout has just put on his Instagram feed that he's out for the season. Massive blow for Huddersfield.
Wow.
They could have done without that. That is breaking news courtesy of Greg Roach. So thanks for that, Greg. Really, really appreciate that. And Alex Sharp going back in as well, saying that Leeming will end up at Catalan. Of course, many thought that he'd be going over to Saints if Clarke goes to Saints.
Yeah,
Leeming.
And Cruz Leeming was a rumour. Cruz Leeming was a rumour at Warrington as well.
But he wouldn't play second fiddle to Walker, would he? I mean,
no. I say it's just a rumour, but you know, it's this time of year. I talk about injuries. Matty Nicholson out for 10 weeks with a ripped tendon in his finger.
In his finger, that's right. Yeah, Matty out. Yeah, that's a great shame. Saw him before kickoff on Friday night, and
although I thought Josh Maguire had his best game of the season in the second row.
He was very good, Maguire. He was very good, and it allows for Harrison to go back to loose forward. But we'll get to the Warrington game. We'll get to the Warrington game in a bit. Apart from that, can't really recall too much, other than, of course, the news that France will no longer be hosting the World Cup. I think everybody in rugby league would say that was a nonsense anyway. It looks like it's going to be going down to the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, New Zealand. I'd heard Australia. You've heard New Zealand. Looks like New Zealand. Let's share it between the South Pacific Islands as well. Let's have Tonga and Samoa and Papua New Guinea involved.
Yeah. Why not?
Papua New Guinea loves its rugby league.
Yeah.
So let's get them involved. Yeah, we're kind of seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly this week with rugby, haven't we? Seen the good with Kevin Sinfield and James Roby, the bad with the news that France aren't hosting the World Cup, and then the ugly with the amount of late hits off the ball that we've seen this week.
Yeah, there were a few, weren't they? And a lot of players
seems to be creeping in.
Well, I mean, so you know what I'm like. I always say it's a game of seconds, it's a game of inches. But some of the ones this weekend, I mean, the Tetevano one, bang out of order. I mean, that was
the Sheridan one was a bit naughty.
Sheridan as well, and rightly getting the 2 games. Rightly going to be sitting down. Graham Parrish going in. Kane Evans has been announced, of course, today, leaving Hull with immediate effect. Absolutely, that's a big blow.
Yes,
as well.
that Kane Evans. Yeah, any idea where he's going?
I think he's going back down under, isn't he? I mean, in terms of, again, that's been rumoured for about 3 or 4 weeks, hasn't it? But finally, that's been done. I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, they said they were in consultation in terms of a settlement for him to get off. And obviously, that's been done and that's been dusted. So lots of quite a bit of news floating around. Nothing too juicy. I think between now and maybe next week, I think the May transfer window now is really starting to kick in, and I think by the time we get back next week.
I'll be surprised if there's none of these rumours some if not all of these rumours have been firmed up by if not next week, the week after Challenge Cup. I think
I agree.
we'll see how. I think they'll see how things go in the Challenge Cup, where teams lie, and then I think things will be firmed up once the Challenge Cup, who's in and who's still in, and who's out.
Totally agree. Right, let's get into a little bit of Super League Raw Fans Forum Fantasy League. And as you can see, Reg Allen holding on. There's very, very little, though, now between him and Ryan Birch. Good evening there, of course, to Ryan. Just slightly behind, had a good week as well. 716 points on the week. Liam Cannon there, 736 as well. Some big 700s and a little squad known as Super League Raw. Got over 700 points this week. And
how did that happen?
We're still mid-table, but we'll keep plugging away. We'll keep plugging away. Right, before we get to the highlights of the games, let's take a look at this week's top performance. Here they come. Of round number 12, and it's fair to say that Alex Walmsley is back.
I should say, yeah. I mean,
I should say, without question.
Most offloads, most hard
most meters, 209. Absolutely
and a couple of players who fly under the radar week after week, like O'Connor, who they're there or thereabouts. Mitchell Pearce is kind of getting back to some good form as well. There's players in there that maybe don't get the kind of showbiz treatment that other players get for fairly average performances. That are, doing really, really. Joe Westerman, again, we like Joe Westerman. He's a great player.
We do.
And he's always there or thereabouts. Joe Westerman. You can't.
No, and again, very surprising.
Keep it down, but maybe that's.
Very steady. Very surprised. Very surprised that Casford haven't announced that Westerman is staying on. Good evening to David and Christine Gledo. Steph Sale is with us. We'll give you a wrap, Steph, for your kind offer at Lee. Good evening to you, sir. We will look forward to seeing you in a week's time down there at the Lee Sports Village. And of course, there on the screen, well, it was on the screen. It's not now. 15 tackle busts for Bevan French. French again, very fortunate to pick up some points this weekend. I have to say, we'll get to that in a minute. But 15 tackle busts. I mean, that's incredible from Bevan French this week.
Is he playing fullback or wing at the minute?
I think he was fullback.
Fullback, wasn't he? Yeah. I mean,
Ollie Holmes.
Sorry?
Ollie Holmes as well, 50 tackles. I mean, Ollie Holmes seems to be getting back to some sort of form.
I don't think he enjoyed his time at Warrington, did he?
He didn't, did he? But he seems to be getting his act his act together at Lee. Right, let's get into some action. As always, here we go. We're going to kick off, of course, by going to what was the Thursday night game between Wakefield Trinity and Hull FC. I don't know about you. I thought this was an opportunity, a potential opportunity for Wakey, but yet again, I said in Super League Raw in the sheds, Wakefield couldn't hit a barn door with a cello, let alone a cow's backside with a cello, let alone a banjo. I mean, in attack. Shocking. I mean, just really, really poor.
Flat. And my the family member was working up in Wakefield and went to this game and said the atmosphere is just flat. It's just because of the stadium redevelopment. That can't be helping. But it's just
I mean, everything that's wrong with Wakefield is encapsulated now. Look at this. A Hail Mary
Yeah.
pass goes up by Brad Dwyer and George Tafua, you know, just in you go. I mean,
That-
Timovari will not score an easier try than that. will he?
No, they just looked at him. I could have
Yeah.
scored that.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you could have done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back you on that one, mate.
Thanks
without
for that.
doubt. It's all right,
You're
mate.
too
It's not a
kind.
problem. It's not a problem. Wait, I tell you, Jake Clifford, mate. I'm liking Clifford. I'm liking Clifford.
He's grown into Super League. I mean,
Yeah.
when's this guy going to make an appearance? Luke Gale. When's he going to?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I said I thought Morgan Smith deserved to play in this, but he was nowhere near. In fact, actually, Wakefield, it was a shadow of the team that turned up at the Halliwell Jones. We saw them at the Halliwell Jones. They played really well there, but they were.
We thought they turned the corner, actually, didn't we? We were saying last week they had the potential if they played like that to beat Hull.
Yeah.
But
again, there, look at that for defence. It's just like, I mean, Tommy Lynham, David, he had a shocker. Tom Lynham.
Talking about Tommy Lynham, I didn't recognise him.
No, it was no.
I mean, I'm jealous, I have to admit, but I didn't recognise him.
No, he reminded me of the train driver in Polar Express, but that's another story. Not to worry. But yeah, you know what I mean. Caribou Crossing. Anyway, we move on. But no, I mean, look, Hull can only beat what was in front of them, and let's be fair to Hull. They played well on the evening. I mean, Matty Ashurst, 3 tries this season for Wakey. Second rower, top try scorer for Wakey. It says it all, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah. One of their few bright spots of the season, to be honest.
Yeah.
In a very, very, I mean, Wakefield fans must now, if not fearing, they must have accepted the worst.
Mate, and do you know what? I don't often agree with Sky, but at the end of the game, I think they were spot on. I think because of the new licensing agreement, I think Wakey are quite happy to go down. They'll save a bit of money on the playing staff for a season. They'll get all the off the field stuff sorted out so that they come back up on the license, and probably, which is no good for the paying punter. But actually, for once, when they were talking, I thought, actually, you're probably speaking a bit of sense there. Not that the fans would want to hear that, but
I don't know how that was ever given as a try, by the way.
Which one was that one, mate?
The one we've just watched. He clearly loses the ball.
Let's go back.
Yeah, is it Matty Ashurst try?
It is the Ashurst try.
He clearly loses the ball.
Come on, mate. Have a bit of charity in you.
Come on, though, mate.
Come on. Have a bit of charity in you. It's not like it's going to make a blind bit of difference, is it?
I know, but it's never a try in a million years.
Yeah, no. I tell you, mate, you've got a cold heart at times, mate. As cold as this glass. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yes, but no. Scott Taylor got the man of the match. Also got the free Albert Goldthorpe and the free Man of Steel points in this game. Liam Sutcliffe getting the 2 points. However, the Albert Goldthorpe going 1 point for Satay and 1 for Houghton. But it was a Hull FC clean sweep. No real surprises there.
Yeah, I thought he had his best game for a long time, Scott Taylor.
Yeah.
I'd seen. I mean, obviously, some Hull fans who see him week in, week out will correct me, but I thought that was his best game for a long time.
This try from Swift, obviously, was in the tries of the week. Very nicely taken. Yeah, good pro, Adam Swift, didn't he?
He is. He is. If he'd still been at Saints, he'd have been the fastest man in Super League.
That's T. Ritson, mate. Right, we're not going to put them through anymore. Let's get on to the next game. Wigan against Leeds. What a game! I mean, dear me. I mean, look. Who'd have seen this coming? Who saw this coming? I mean, Wigan, Matt Pete at the end of the game, he was shell-shocked, wasn't he? I mean, it was theirs, and
I've watched this twice, and I still don't know how Wigan have lost it.
Good try, the first one there.
Sorry for any spoilers there, but I still don't don't how
French
they
did well
here.
Game. French did well here, mate. He did really well there.
I mean, tackle burst. Yeah, it's just look at that. 4 players around him.
It's poor defence, but then, of course that's as good as it got for Wigan. What happened next is just out. I mean, first of all, a pivotal try, this one for Newman. Great interception.
Yeah, the interception.
And desperate. But at that point, I think Wigan are still in the box seat. I think they're still pretty much happy at that point. Up until, of course, Tetevano being, a little bit of an example there of how, Leeds were a bit all over the place, if you recall, at the start of this game. Just not nothing. I mean, this was an example of it into Cameron Smith. The attack was really clunky. They needed something to get them going. I don't actually know why this got so much on the highlight reel, quite frankly, but there you go. Probably for this reason. But three takes of the same thing. I think there was better action on the night than that.
Yeah,
quite frankly. But then, of course, here we go. Wow, really?
It's a poor pass. Poor pass.
Great read, though. Great read.
Great, but it's a floated pass out wide. When you're there and the defense is coming up, you don't do floated passes out wide. Great interception. I mean, is this the red? Yeah.
This is the red, yeah. And it was a red. I mean, no argument. Going back to Newman, I mean, he seems to be making a season of long-range tries. But, I mean, when you see this on replay, Tetevano can have no arguments whatsoever.
No arguments.
Absolute shocker, isn't it?
I think there were a couple of other players who appeared on TV this weekend who were lucky not to get a straight red as well.
Yeah, no,
but,
I don't disagree.
They didn't, but they've got subsequent bans.
Equivalent bans, which is the point, isn't it? Equivalent bans.
Yeah.
So you've got to have... I mean, Tetevano's got form, hasn't he? He's got form for red.
It's what's gone against him. It's what's gone against him in that decision. Yeah. I'm convinced of it.
That was late. That was a shocker.
Oh, it was, and it was late, and he's not wrapped, and it's an attack to the head.
Yeah.
So, but and when that happens, you're thinking, wow, this is Wigan running.
Yeah,
30,
game over.
Points.
Yeah, it's game over, mate. At this point, but again, not that you associate with Wigan's defence, mate. It was like they went on holiday, wasn't it? Holroyd, credit to Holroyd, brilliant.
I mean, he's going to be some player, Holroyd.
Yeah, he's
playing
a player
really well. Now. Give him 5 years, he'll be.
And Austin again.
New Adrian Morley.
Austin turning up for the big games. I mean, it's not these games. It's the bread and butter games that they need to be. I thought they were lucky here because Smith's offside. If we go back here, they were really fortunate with this one. Poor defence from Wigan, but watch Cameron Smith, and he's offside for me. You'll see him in a sec. I'll give it a little bit of a stop. But watch Cameron.
Oh yeah, he's offside.
He's offside. He's offside. I mean, there's no doubt in a million years that Cameron Smith there is not offside. Just keep tracking him. There he goes. He's inside the 10 when this. Look, he's inside the 10. That he's not a try. Nope. But the mad thing was when he went to the video ref, he calls him onside, and you're like, what? Who was the video ref? Oh, mate, now you're asking. I can't remember for the life of me. I'll try and get the name for you now. Can't remember.
I can't remember because obviously I was at the Hull KR game, so
yeah.
I can't remember. It wasn't Mr. Kendall, was it?
Well, I don't know, mate. Good try from Forney. Forney, to be fair, is not letting anybody down, is he? Since he's come back.
He's done all right. He's done really, really well.
It doesn't say who the video ref is, unfortunately.
Here's another one. Here's another interception.
I actually thought this was the better of the two. I thought, the first one, as you quite rightly say, it was a floating ball. That one took to take that path, to take it one-handed like he did. I don't know if I don't think he showed that again, did he? Let's just have a quick go back on this because I mean this ball is travelling.
Yeah,
it's travelling, and it's a one-handed catch. Watch, shot. That's a great.
He pulls it in as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful from Newman. You've got to give Newman. And the two lads who were falling out last week, both on the score sheet this week, Holroyd and Newman.
Yeah,
obviously they did each other a world of good.
They've kissed and made up. But the first one for me was important because it got Leeds back in the game.
And Reece Martin here, watch it. Watch this.
It's a great try.
It is, but look at that. 3 defenders.
But what he does to the defence,
mate, just unbelievable. Very un-Wigan-like, incredibly un-Wigan-like. And of course, these go head to head again in the Challenge Cup at the weekend at Headingley. And we spoke off air in terms of weirder things have happened that Wigan.
No, we're going to win that. We're going to win.
Yeah.
I've no doubt we're going to win that.
Alex Sharp's a legend, and Chris Kendall was the video referee.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was Chris Kendall.
Very similar to Harry Smith when he scored at St Helens. Cameron Smith there is just gobsmacked that was such an easy try.
Yeah.
Look at this. Tell you what, fair play there to Bevan French.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, let's watch that again. Here it comes. Oh, that's a big tackle. That.
A great tackle.
Yeah, massive wrap there for Bevan French. That's some tackle, that.
Yeah, I mean, does he give the pen? I mean,
Yeah, well, he got sent, didn't he? Got
Yeah.
sent for 10. That was his night over. But I mean,
Yeah.
that let's be fair, that's an LGB winning at a mini, innit? And the mini won. I mean, it's
Yeah.
incredible, really.
Oh, I mean,
And they're
look
a
at
plus
that,
two.
though.
Yeah. I mean, that was Cade Cust. I mean, I was surprised that Cust was on the bench, not starting. He went with Shorrocks again in the halves, but then he comes on and does that. So maybe it was the right decision to play him on the bench.
Are they lulling Leeds into a false sense of security?
Maybe. But what we'll do is we'll just run a few more. We'll just run a few more of them tries while we go through the Albert Goldthorpe. So
Yeah.
the Albert Goldthorpe, 3 for Reece Martin in this game.
Can't argue with that.
Two for Harry Newman and 1 for Bevan French. No. Sorry.
No.
Man of Steel. I think probably got it bang on, quite frankly. They went 3 for Newman, 2 for Cameron Smith, and 1 for Reece Martin. And I think fair play to the Man of Steel there. On this occasion, don't get me wrong, they don't get it right across the board today. We'll give them a bit of a dig in a minute. But on this particular game, I think that was about right. I think Cameron
I don't
Smith
know how Bevan French
brilliant.
picked some penny points from that game.
No, I don't.
Well, mind you, his busts, his tackle busts were impressive, but
again, I think the Man of Steel.
Nothing about
Newman
Wigan
Smith.
after the first 20 minutes is impressive.
No, exactly, and Newman absolutely turned the game with his first intercept time. And Smith, for me, all season, Cameron Smith has been outstanding, and Martin, absolutely, no.
Martin has been one of the standout players this season so far.
Yeah, no,
easily.
Well, watch this one again. I mean, there he goes, just having a little dance around Smith. We'll get to the next game. So here we go. We move on, and this one is the Castleford Tigers against Catalan Dragons. Oh dear. I mean,
look at that. That is.
It's pedestrian. It's pedestrian, mate. Desiree going in. Again, Gareth Winnett, I give him some grief on in the sheds. Winnett, for me, mate, is a journeyman here at Castleford. I'm just going to say it. A lot of Castleford fans not happy at all, and rightly so.
He's a better player than that. I mean, look at that. He's a better player than that.
He is, mate, but his reputation. He didn't live up to his billing at Warrington. He's certainly not living up to his billing at Castleford.
He was unfortunate at Warrington because the injuries that have plagued his career plagued him at Warrington. The magic weekend when he got injured, he was playing some good stuff until he got injured. Up until that point, not in that game, but in the season, he was playing some good stuff, probably his best stuff. Yeah. And then his shoulder goes again. And you got to wonder, is he constantly just fearful that
maybe
his shoulder's going to go? And when you get to that point, as Jake Mamo said, when you get to that point, you realise that's a great finish, by the way.
Yeah, and
you realise it's time to hang the boots up.
Credit to Tompkins. Tompkins did have a good game in this one. There he is again. Yeah. He was bang at it. Tompkins, Kieran, mate, another stellar game from him. There's another good try. I mean, he was. I mean, last week it was Ikavaru. This week it's Kieran. We said, arguably now the best centre partnership in Super League.
Kieran is looking at a dream team place.
I agree, mate. I agree.
100%.
Easily. Well, no surprises. The Albert Goldthorpe and the Man of Steel both give Kieran the 3 points, and rightly so. Garcia also got both of the 2 points, but there was a bit of a difference in who they gave the 1 point to, and this is where it gets a bit silly. Again, normally the Albert Goldthorpe are a bit more on the ball, but again, they got this one wrong for me. They gave it to Johnston over Faraimo. For me, Faraimo was the only real shining light in this game for Castleford.
Is Faraimo one of the players that's got a ban this week?
Good question. I think he has. Yes, I think he's got a match. Him and Liam Watts. Him and Liam Watts will be out of the whole game in the cup.
Big blows for the cup for Castleford in the cup. That.
Yeah, there he goes again. And like I say, Faraimo in this game, it really, really was, for me personally, better than Johnson. I don't.
Faraimo's played well. I'm sure our Castleford followers will probably disagree.
It's a lovely assist that as well.
Yeah, from what I've seen of Faraimo this season, he has been the outstanding player.
Yeah, well, obviously had that shocker. Was it against Saints where he didn't ground the ball right, which was
Fanua and Faraimo.
Yeah, but
they've just been playing well together, I think.
Yeah,
I don't see them week in, week out.
Good fend that. That's a really, really strong fend on Johnson. No point holding your mouth there, Tommy lad. You've been done. It's simple as that. You've been done. But yeah, I say
Easy.
Tompkins played well. I was surprised Tompkins, for once, actually, had Tompkins had got a point, and I went, yeah, fair enough. And he didn't get out. So there are times we've sat here and Tompkins has put a shirt on and got 3 points. And in this one, actually, he played well. He actually played well and didn't get out.
He brought the water on 3 weeks ago and got all 3 Man of Steel points.
Absolutely frightening. Absolutely frightening. But
You've
well
got to
done.
wonder. I think these journalists have indulged in a few too many sherries pre-kickoff, haven't they?
Well, all I would say, Catalan, mate, are the real deal. As we now go to Warrington
Looking
against
good,
Hull KR. The first half, I mean, look, credit to Hull KR. Their offloading was out of this world. Warrington just could not live with him in the first 20 minutes. And I think if Matt Parcell had stayed on the field, it could have been, this is a delicious offload.
Look at that. That's beautiful. That is
beautiful stuff from Batchelor. Outstanding. On the night, you've got to give him his due for that. But yeah, I mean, you were there, I were there. We were in trouble. We were in a lot of trouble.
We were really
30 minutes.
I mean, this try. If any try were to highlight that the Metaltia experiment has to end, it's this one. when Connor Wrench, look at him. I'll tell you what, I'll jump on your back. Yeah.
Well, Connor Wrench played in the reserves at the weekend and scored a brace.
When Connor Wrench comes back, Metaltia has got to be the one to make way for him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That
man there, Joe Philbin, Greg. Philbin. I mean, one thing about Warrington, the subs changed the game. Two things changed the game. One, Parcell going off at half time with an HIA. The second, the subs. Dufty came on and you could tell he'd been dropped. He was all over the place. He was outstanding.
Philbin's making up for lost time.
Oh, Philbin was sensational.
Yeah, it was a Philbin of 2019.
It was indeed. Completely agree. Here goes Benny Curry in for his 4 points.
That's a great try from Ben Curry, That's a great try.
That's the Ben Curry of old, mate. That's the Ben Curry of old. We saw that many a time in his infancy. Outstanding stuff. And then it became a kick for, I mean, this was unbelievable. They actually gave a penalty for that, and I couldn't believe it. In fact, let's just play that again. So basically, as you can see here, they bluff the play the ball here, Hull. There's the bluff. Bring Warrington off the line, and then he gives the penalty.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on. Anyway, unbelievable. Mikey Lewis. Obviously, Hull KR went into this game with no recognised goal kicker, no Jordan Abdul, no Lachlan Coote, no Rowan Mills. 28% conversion ratio this season, Mikey Lewis. And he missed quite a bread and butter one that hit the post, and that was quite critical, wasn't it?
That miss kick turned the game, I thought.
Yeah. I agree.
We like Mikey Lewis on this show, but that miss turned the game.
Yeah,
heads kind of went down after that.
Yeah, and in the second half, I mean, how many times Vale had brought the Hull captain across to say one more and one of your lads are in the bin? He just kept giving penalty after penalty. No, when he went into the bin. But this was for 16-14. And then for me, yet again, Matty Ashton. This is a brilliant finish.
The finish.
Yeah. Probably one of the best. We didn't see Warrington doing this a lot during the evening, but this was outstanding. England's Matty Ashton. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
For once, Ratchford passes to his winger. And look what happens when he passes to your winger.
Especially when that winger's Matty Ashton.
So yeah,
especially when that winger's Matty Ashton.
I was quite glad he didn't disappear underneath the advertising hoardings, to be honest.
yeah. Well, what we'll do, we'll have a look at that Matty Ashton try again while we do the Albert Goldthorpe. 3 points go to Joe Philbin and richly deserved. 2 to Dufty, can't disagree with that, and 1 to Mikey Lewis. A bit fortunate for me, for Mikey Lewis there.
Interesting that the 2 subs get the most points.
Man of Steel, Williams 3, which I think was generous, if I'm being honest. Does him no harm in terms of the race for the Man of Steel, but that was generous on the night for me. 2 for Philbin. And 1 for Minchella. Again, sorry, Minchella had a fine game, but no, not
There were better players on there.
There were better players on the field. But Warrington, 21-14, 4 points clear now. Got out of jail again, it has to be said, after 30 minutes, Hull KR.
They've done that a lot this season. They've got out of jail a lot this season, Warrington.
And just as Uncle Freddie comes into the room, we have Huddersfield Giants against Lee. Good evening, Huddersfield. Good evening, Uncle Freddie. He'll be turning off now. I mean,
he's probably the one blocking our feed.
Mate, honestly, a lot of Huddersfield fans. For speed. Brilliant from him, Pappy. Yeah. Joel was straight on to me after this game. And Freddie, I'm sure, is going to back him up.
Look at that.
Yeah, no heart,
Wow.
no desire. The only couple of players that come out with any credit by all accounts, Cudjoe was doing his absolute best to rally the troops. Harry Rushton had a good game as well. But I did a statistic on in the sheds, and I'll share it again now, Greg, if you permit me.
I will permit you, sir.
Wilson, the starting prop forwards for Huddersfield, sorry, were Ollie Wilson and Chris Hill. The starting props for Lee were Tom Amone and Robbie Mulhern. Wilson and Hill combined 107 metres. Amone and Mulhern combined 244 metres. That's not good reading if you're a Huddersfield Giants fan.
Mulhern has had a new lease of life. I mean,
Yeah,
I was quite disappointed that we got rid of him at Warrington. I thought he had potential.
Yeah.
But,
You're right.
Yeah, and you know, maybe he can forgive it with Hill. He's kind of, you know, Hill's coming to the end of his career, and no disrespect to him for that.
No.
There are going to be games where Chris Hill is going to struggle because of his age and the wars he's been through.
All I'd say is, if this was an audition to be in Britain's special forces for jumping on a grenade, I think Charlie beats Bibby all day long. Look at that. Boom, get in there. No dramas at all.
Controversial.
Very controversial, but there you go. Steph, you know, but there you go. Charlie, you know, doing what he does, 14 now for the season for Charlie, top try scorer. He's got a bit of breathing space. Can Josh Charlie be top scorer this season?
Why not?
Why not? This was lovely. This is the Lachlan Lamb one, I think. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And again, you talk about heart, you talk about desire. Look at the size of Lachlan Lamb. And here he goes. I mean, come on, really. I mean, but brilliant cheek, fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Fully deserved. I'm liking Lachlan Lamb. I think he's been a sensation this season.
I think if Lachlan Lamb played for Saints or Wigan or maybe Leeds, he'd be looking at dream team selection.
Well, he might still be second in the Albert Goldthorpe table now behind George
Well,
Williams.
is he going to displace Lomax and Williams?
Right. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is not You've Been Framed. I'll just put that out there straight away. There's no £250 video going the way of Huddersfield Giants for this. Toy Lullahoy. We've seen that this is the second time we saw Jake Connor the other week.
I wouldn't where you were going there with that.
Yeah, we saw Jake Connor a couple of weeks ago, get absolutely rinsed and the ball stole. And now, what's this? What on earth is that? I mean, if I'm a Huddersfield fan at this point, I've never left the game early, but fair play to any Huddersfield fan at that point that's still in the stadium.
You've got to think what's going through the heads, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do they want Ian Watson gone? I don't know, Huddersfield.
I don't.
Fans. What do you think?
Well, Freddie McGill's saying fair play to Lee. They were 2 steps ahead every game. And like I said in the sheds, this could have been a lot worse. That's 77 minutes when the Garma goes in. If that's another, that'd be 2-0 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Had that have remained at 0. That's how bad they're playing. And this for me is, I think, fat, mate. I'll take your view on it. Huddersfield go out the Challenge Cup. I think a change of command is in the offing.
May well be. I mean, is it Salford they've got?
They've got Salford away.
Salford will win that. I'm sorry.
Salford have got some big injuries going into it, but
they have. But I'm sorry, our friends from Huddersfield. But I'd Salford are going to win that.
Steph Saylor, he couldn't resist, could he? My little jibe there in terms of Huddersfield leaving early. He said there wasn't many to begin with. Steph, come on, mate.
Don't kick him while we're down.
We like Uncle Freddie here at Super League Raw. We love him, in fact. You know what I mean? But no, look, it's an absolute pleasure to watch Lee this year. I think for me, I'm going to say it. Let me say, second team this year. I'm loving Lee. I'm absolutely loving what they're doing for the competition, the entertainment they're putting on, the fact that they're playing some wonderful, attractive stuff. Mate, we're in for a treat a week on Friday.
Yeah, as long as they don't do it a week on Friday, I'm 100%
if both teams turn up, mate, I think it'll be a brilliant spectacle.
Well,
I really do.
The pre-season friendly was a good game.
Was, mate. Was.
Obviously, Maguire will go out with a plaster on his mouth.
And we get to meet Steph in the flesh, as it were.
In the Legends Lounge, no less.
I know, mate. Steph, you're an absolute legend, mate. You really are. Really appreciate you doing that for us. Right, the Albert Goldthorpe and the Man of Steel both giving 3 points to Reynolds. Reynolds is playing well, playing really, really well.
Yes, he is.
Albert Goldthorpe, 2 for Lamb, and 1 for Charlie. For the Man of Steel, Ricky Latelli got the 2 points, Charlie 1. And do you know what? Latelli, again, how hard must it have been for Huddersfield to see their former centre have a stellar game, over 190 metres in this game. For
Latelli's a game. Latelli's a player that doesn't get the plaudits he deserves. He flies under the radar a lot of the time. He's a great player.
Absolutely.
A great player.
Salford then to get us.
Say they won't get there. And then, of course, the final game of the weekend was St Helens against Salford. Brilliant, great conditions for rugby league. I think everybody's getting giddy at 12-0. But Saints...
Oh, that was a forward pass.
Ominously, Saints, I think, are starting to look something like. But, I mean, the first 2 tries, absolutely so pretty on the eye. It's untrue, isn't it?
Magnificent tries.
Yeah.
Saints were rocking.
The King running through there. Go on, King. It's a lovely try.
Salford's tries this season have been things of beauty. They really have.
Mate. It's like they're going for try in the season just as a club.
Every game. I mean,
Yes.
the Lafay one in early doors. I mean, as I say, I could quite happily marry that try. It's wonderful.
I mean, they scored a couple of belters at Lee, as I recall. Obviously, the ones against Hull, scored a couple at Hull that were nice on the eye. They scored a couple at the HJ that were decent, But yeah, I mean, this next one, as you rightly say, the lovely. How many times do we see Salford do this quick 1-2? A lot of the time it's Croft and Briley, but on this occasion it was Briley and Watkins. But this is lovely.
The clever players. They've got a lot of clever players, clever and powerful players.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I don't know what went wrong for them.
I do. It was the try. It was the Bell try, because I think had they got in at halftime 12-0. And the other thing as well, mate, let's not forget, just prior to the end of the first half, they lost Shane Wright, and that was a hammer.
I was trying to think there was something that happened, and Shane Wright's been magnificent this season.
Yeah. Great run from Roby.
Yeah, they kind of got dragged into the niggle as well.
Yeah. Look at this for an offload. Beautiful. But even better from the other angle now. This is a cracking offload from Curtis Sivonen.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Was this after his little indiscretion? It was, wasn't
beautiful. It? Yeah, that's a beautiful offload. But just in case you missed it, this run from Roby, as good as it was, was enough to get him into the official Super League team of the week.
Of course it was. No
sentiment there.
It was the way he walked off when he was substituted and the camera followed him.
Yeah,
they almost did it in slow motion.
For any Saints fans that are late coming to the party, we did a lovely 3-minute tribute to James Roby. Sorry, James Roby at the start of the piece. So don't take this as we're being biased, but that's he certainly weren't the best hooker this weekend. I'm sorry.
No, not by a million miles.
No, absolutely not. And then of course he just.
In fact, Danny Walker outplayed him.
There was a lot, mate. There was a lot. But yeah, I mean, some nice tries though from Saints. Like I said, the first Curtis Sivonen one, very easy on the eye. That's a good try.
Yeah, that's a good reach. It's a good reach.
Sivonen turned the game with the offload and that try. He turns the game. Probably one of his better performances.
Yeah. I think, as I say, I think Salford got dragged into the niggle and started to feel hard done by.
Yeah.
As the game went on and kind of lost the focus a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
The game was there for winning. And it's always sad to see LMS go off injured. It's always very sad.
It's tragic.
It is.
Bit of a chat going on in terms of the rearranged fixture between Saints and Huddersfield. Yeah, still no announcement on that. We're still waiting on that one. That'll need to happen at some point. But yeah, I mean, this again, what is Williams doing? This was.
I just couldn't believe. I don't know whether he'd had a bet on Saints winning.
Oh mate,
Williams.
I mean, it's as bad as Lola Hayes. That I mean, I mean, all right. At this point, I mean, he's 14-12. What you doing? You're in the game, and that's just. I mean, it's a coach killer, isn't
it? You put that in a bottle bag and give it to somebody on the birthday.
Yeah, that
was unbelievable.
It was, mate. Now, I've been saying about Makinson maybe carrying an injury, but actually in this game, maybe not. I mean, he was a lot better in this. I mean, this is.
Thought he was back to his best.
Look at this.
I mean, look at that. I mean, we were shouting that he was held there, but he wasn't.
No, beautiful try. And again,
Superb
we'll
from
see it.
Walmsley.
I think we see it from the other angle now. Obviously, we've seen it in tries of the week.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, this from Alex Walmsley. I mean, the last 2 weeks, Walmsley's shown his class. I mean, that is a very similar run, albeit not a try to the one he did at Castleford on the angle. Really good, strong running. But yeah, fair play to Tommy Mason.
Yeah, I mean,
This is great. Look at this. Boom. Beautiful.
Yeah, you're all saying, "Oh, he's tackled," and he's not. He
No.
keeps his arm up. That's magnet for a big man to do that. Is brilliant.
Yeah, sensational.
His weight is
Sensational.
naturally going down, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. He's a player, mate. He's a player. I mean,
It really is.
he'll be like us. He'll
That's
leave a vacuum.
easy.
Yeah, Bachelor. Like when Morley left us, mate. I think Walmsley will leave a vacuum at Saints. He's very.
He will.
He's going to be very difficult to replace, isn't he?
He will. He will. Definitely, mate. Huge loss when
The
he leaves.
Bachelor brothers, mate, performing very well. I mean, both the Bachelor boys are doing well for the respective teams, and I'm sure when Hull KR play Saints, one of them will be banned, but that'll be another.
Oh yeah, because that's a good narrative for
That'll
TV,
happen.
isn't it?
Absolutely. But congratulations,
I
must
can
go.
guarantee. I better know which one it is that gets banned as well.
Absolutely, it won't be the Saints one. But no, we'll just watch the Walmsley effort again as we do the Man of Steel points. Just to say, for Channel 4, 330,000p can average a 200,000 viewers at the weekend. The
Brilliant.
Albert Goldthorpe medal, Sivernon got 3, Walmsley 2, Roby 1. What's all that?
Sure about Sivernon getting 3?
Nah, I think he probably deserved. I think he said his.
No,
assist in
Walmsley
the try-
deserved. Walmsley was better. More.
Well,
impact.
Walmsley doesn't even feature in Man of Steel. I mean, like I say, I mean, Roby getting 1, that's sentimental for me. Man of Steel, 3 for Lomax, 2 for Sivernon, 1 for Bachelor. Again, Walmsley, disappointing to miss out there. I think, Big Alex probably deserved a mention in the Man of Steel. But yeah, really odd scoring. Albert Goldthorpe this week, and I mean, obviously we've had Martin on twice, but I'm sorry, I think the Albert Goldthorpe this week, something not quite right there.
Yeah. I don't think. I think they've had a few sherries before they've got the thinking caps on.
I think they most certainly did. Right, before we do your favourite part of the week, let's do Alex Sharp's favourite part of the week. Stop the season now! Stop it! Stop the season now! Warrington Wolves now 4 points clear at the top of Super League. Oh, unbelievable.
Makes it even more surprising that the disciplinary panel didn't ban all our players for
the
4
Challenge
weeks.
Cup. Yeah, no, they'll do it in the Challenge Cup in time for the league, mate. Don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah.
But then there's that. What a lovely little cluster there. Wigan, Hull, KR, Catalan, all on 16 points apiece. Catalan, KR for me. None of us had them that high this season. Incredible.
No.
Warriors, we did. We had Warriors up there pitching. We didn't have KR and Dragons. Fair play to them. We certainly didn't have the irresistible force that is the Lee Leopards in 5th. Incredible stuff from Lee. Salford Red Devils in 6th. I mean, it's just great for the comp.
It is. Still, I'm loving.
What?
OKR, Lee and Salford in the top 6. I'm loving
it's
it.
brilliant. Long may it continue. It's brilliant, mate.
Brilliant.
It is brilliant. Outstanding, in fact.
Let's get
Obviously,
Huddersfield in there instead of Wigan. It'll be perfect.
well,
Giants.
Saints still have that game in hand, of course, over the Giants, so they won't be unduly concerned at this moment in time.
No.
Especially when you look at the points difference. Saints, even though they're in 7th there, 61 difference compared to 51 and 21. So Saints won't be too concerned, but without doubt, Lee, Salford are right in the mixer for top 6. There's no doubt about that, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. At the bottom end of the table, based on Huddersfield's game this week, I'm willing to bet that Freddie McGilvray restart the season now. Will it, Freddie? I might do that. I might do that next week just for Freddie. Restart the season now. But anyway, and even Steph Sales saying it's not the season now. He'll take it as it is. I'm sure you will. But no, look, back to the league table. I think, based on Huddersfield's performance this week, they'll be probably delighted they've got the 8 points. I mean, I don't think there's any danger there, but I'll tell you now, Castleford. If I mean, it'd be interesting if Wakey go and post a win, what that does to the old squeaky bum time at Castleford, because I'll tell you now, Castleford, the way they're playing.
Having, Wakefield have their annual win at home against Warrington to come yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Castleford have got to book their ideas up, I'm afraid.
I agree with you. Right. We've done Alex Sharp's favourite part of the season, closely followed by Freddie, albeit I didn't stay and Steph Saley's now actually getting on board with the elder start the season now. So should we get t-shirts made? Stop the season now, Super League Raw. Let's do that. Let's have some t-shirts made. Stop the season now. Spread it wide and far. Right, we now come to Greg's favourite part of the week. Here comes the team of the week for round number 12. Here we go.
It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 12. Here we go again. And a fullback for the second time in 3 weeks is Davy Litton of Hull FC. From winger to fullback supreme, there surely can be no budging the young fellow. Hopefully, the ankle knock was not too severe. And number 2, and on debut, is Bretto Faraimo. Despite being in the losing team, we believe he should not be overlooked, despite the plight of the Tigers in favour of Tom Johnson. Get a grip, Super League panel. It was Faraimo, not Johnson, who should be on the wing this week. And number 3, well, not since Hannibal Lecter have we seen hearts as well as passes cut out on this scale. Newman's first changed the game, whilst his second was taking liberties. Sensational! And number 4, another stellar game for our favourite flame-haired Aussie. Adam Kieran was at it again, but with ball in hand and off the kicking tee. In any other jungle he'd be Tarzan. And number 5, and on the wing, Josh Charnley returns to the team for the 4th time this season. Josh's first was textbook Charnley, whilst his second on 46 minutes made it an uphill struggle for the Giants that quickly became a mountain. And number 6, matching Charnley's 4 appearances this season, is Johnny Lomax, the heartbeat of St Helens. I know his tries thrill me, and this appearance will surely not be his last. And number 7, keeping his shirt week on week, is Jake Clifford. Another assured display by Jake in what turned out to be a very straightforward win for the Black and Whites. One word for this performance: Bonza! And number 8, and on debut, is Joe Philbin. Warrington were up against the Robins, and the introduction of to his pre-injury menace with runs of power and destruction. And number 9, well, there's no sentiment here, Mr. Roby. Jared O'Connor, take a bow, sir. This was perhaps his best performance at 9 for the Rhinos. His assists were pinpoint and perfectly executed. And number 10, he's back with a vengeance, keeping his place week on week. Alex Walmsley was at it again. Offloads on one knee, 209 metres from 25 carries. The man's not human. Quality! And number 11, a player that often goes under the radar, but there is no denying the desire and consistency of Josh Griffin. Solid in defence and workmanlike in attack. Griffin was exceptional. And number 12, and another Saint, back in the side and returning to form, is Curtis Sivernon. The offload to James Bell was beautiful and provided a platform for Saints to build from in the second half. Not a bad try too, sir. And finally, at number 13, for his 3rd appearance of the season, is Cameron Smith. He galvanised the side with big tackles, key offloads, precise passes and strong running. Sam Powell didn't fancy stopping the man, did he? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 12.
Team of the week for round number 12 is in the record books, ladies and gentlemen. And Greg, what do we make of the team of the week?
Better than your Tarzan impression, mate. Thought you'd stood on something. Reece Martin maybe was a little bit lucky not to get in there, but
yeah, no, I know Griffin. Yeah, I agree. No, Griffin was good. I mean, you know, there's an argument. Lachlan Lamb again. You know, nobody had he been in there. You know, we had another great game, and Reynolds. You know, both of the Lee halves. To be fair, I just felt that, you know, based on just based on the games, really. And
I'm not arguing. No arguing. Just
maybe Litton, mate, outstanding at fullback again for Hull.
I mean, from that kind of a bit like Wood last season. He's fair play to him. He's come back from a shaky start and he's really playing well.
Yeah.
Go on. What are you reading?
No, nothing, mate, nothing. I don't know if Steph Sale is saying that it was shocking, the Tarzan impression, or that only one of his beloved Lee Leopards found the way into the team this week. It's all about fairness. Spread the love, Steph. Spread the love. We always call it real. And that's probably the right team. Right, before we take a very quick look at the Challenge Cup, of course, no predictions this week. We only do that for Super League. We will be back again. Don't do this often, but we're back next week after the Challenge Cup to look at the predictions, and I'm sure we'll have some fun along the way. Maybe a few news stories will hit between now.
Yeah, let's hope so.
then.
It's a bit boring at the minute, isn't it?
It is. But let's now go to the prediction league as it stands. Here it comes. Here it comes, Greg. Ooh, it was a bad week for Reggie. Decent week for me.
Warrington let me down badly by not letting Hull KR win.
They did indeed.
I was the only one celebrating after 20 minutes.
Yeah, because you went KR, didn't you?
I went KR, I could just see it. But,
so here is the prediction league, and 19 points for me last week, 16 for the fans forum, 12 for Greg, 11 for Gary Schofield.
I'm still beating the legend that is Gary Schofield.
Mate, you're handsomely beating him all of a sudden, and you're only 3 behind the forum. The forum are only 6 behind me. Very early days, very early days. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your eye out on Sunday morning. The round 13 predictions will go live on Super League Raw Fans Forum. Keep your eyes out for that. Get involved, get your predictions in there. And of course, we will discuss them live this time next week. Right, we now go to the Challenge Cup. Here it is. This is the lineup, the greatest, one of the oldest cup competitions in the world. Hell of a trophy. I think this has got a special place in the purist hearts. I think we'd all say that. So let's go down from top to bottom. A little bit of fun. For me, shocking that this one is not on the telly, Greg. Catalan taking on Warrington in Perpignan. That is going to be a toss of the coin for me.
It's an absolute scandal this isn't on TV. An absolute scandal.
Down to pound, shillings and pence, I think.
Well, maybe, but it's a scandal.
Yeah,
I'm hoping, like you say, I'm hoping Warrington do it. It's going to be tough, though, and I'm kind of thinking that this might be Catalan's game. We beat them down their place a couple of weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, when we were firing on all cylinders, and we really did struggle through that game.
Well, the man who made all the headlines, Bill Dudson, is back for that one. The man who made all the headlines in that game.
Yeah,
as fate would have it, Dudson is now back available for Warrington.
Yeah, I would. I'm going to say Warrington. I'm going to go with heart over head, and I'm going to say Warrington will squeak that one.
Well, Matty Russell obviously failed his HIA, so Fewless will be on the wing. Yeah. Dufty will be back in, which creates a space on the bench. I do think Dudson will find a way back on into the team. And I think it's too close to call. I think for me, being open and honest, I think Catalan are in better form at the moment. I think their attack looks better.
I think it's unfortunate this game has probably come 2 or 3 games too soon for Conor Wrench to come back, because I think we're really weak down one side. I won't say his name again. And I think, that's going to be targeted.
Maybe. For me,
I'm going to go Warrington out of.
I can't go. Officially, I'll go Warrington, but I would not be surprised if Catalan went through. Then we go to Castleford against Hull FC. I think for me, Castleford probably don't need. It's a terrible thing to say, but then again, a good cup run could galvanise them. But I think just based on where Castleford are, no Faraimo in this one. Obviously, Widdett went off, Evans went off, Noley and Watts as well. So Castleford, quite a lot of players out for this one. FC, no real reports I've seen in terms of absentees. I could be wrong on that. I just think Hull FC win this one.
I'm with you. I think this could be a blessing in disguise for Castleford. We all love a good cup run. We all love to get to Wembley. But I think with Castleford where they are, and you always say a cup run galvanises teams. Well, I think this might be a blessing in disguise for Castleford, and they can concentrate on the league and have, there's going to be a couple of times when they get a week off just to get bodies back. And I think Hull FC are going to win this.
Yes, I agree. Then we have, of course, I mean, people will be rubbing their hands in terms of the quarterfinals. York taking on London. Be a good game. I mean, don't get me wrong. This will be a really, really good game. I've got no doubt about that whatsoever. Yeah, which way do you see that one going? London,
York.
London, York.
York.
Think York
York.
can take that one.
Yeah, I think York will take that. Decent side.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to put this in terms of there's 2 points separating them in the championship. York are ahead,
Yeah.
and of course they have home advantage. So, like you, I think York, on that basis, will advance. But that should be a really entertaining game at York. Then we've got.
Yeah, I'd like to see I'd like to see these games on TV.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, the sportsman. So the sport. I mean, whether they announce it tomorrow on the Last Tackle or not, but the sportsman is supposed to be showing one of the Challenge Cup games, but is yet to announce.
I'd show that one.
Which one it is?
That'd be a good game.
Yeah, it's very unlikely they're going to get themselves over to Catalan Warrington. But yeah, like you, yeah, it would be nice to see that game on the telly. I think it'd be a real entertaining one, quite frankly. Then it's Halifax taking on Saints. Saints will rest some players, not too many. They'll leave enough on. I'd expect no Walmsley on this one. I could be wrong. I think they'll probably give depending on how they've tried. I've been saying that the Walmsley's only just come back. I think he might look to rest a couple. Might experiment a little bit. I mean, there's been this big call to put Welsby in the halves, drop Dodd, which I don't quite get, but there's been a lot of that going on.
Yeah,
but we don't see anything other than a Saints win here, do we?
No, I mean, was it Halifax he played in the semis a couple of years ago when we beat him in the final? I think it wasn't. And Halifax, if they'd had a couple of decent halfbacks, could well have caused a shock there that day.
Yeah,
but no, St Helens. No. They're going. If they're going to beat Warrington with half a team, they're going to beat Halifax with half a team.
I think.
Sorry, Halifax fans.
I'm sorry as well, Halifax, but I think at least a half century there. Then it's Hull KR taking on Batley. Hull KR at home against the Batley Bulldogs. Again, you just don't. I mean, again, KR got a couple of. They have got a couple of knocks going into that. Willie Peters has already come out and said. Yeah, he was hoping to rest a few. He's not going to be able to do that now. Batley currently in the playoff places in the championship currently, but again, based on what we saw, even with a team that wasn't full strength at the Halliwell, I'm going to probably be at least 30. I would say. Would you say?
Yeah, KR are going to win.
Yeah,
KR are going to win.
Now then, we now come to the next one. Right. Everything points here to a Leigh win. Everything points to a Leigh win. It does. Wakefield cannot buy a win in Super League. What are the chances?
This is the one, and I'm probably seeing my ticket to that league game go up in smoke.
Steph's already typing. Yeah, go on.
Steph's already taking his account details out of the league account. There's always a shock. In whatever sport, there's always a shock in a cup. Now, it's either this one or the Salford Huddersfield game where the shock is going to happen, I think, because Halifax are not going to beat Saints, Batley are not going to beat Hull KR.
Yeah.
I still think Leigh have. This is Leigh's game to lose.
100%.
And I think, thinking of the match tickets in the back of my head, I think that Leigh, it depends what mindset Leigh go into. No, seriously, depends what mindset Leigh go into this game. They've got to be 100% focused that they want to win this game, and not. It doesn't matter if we win or lose. We're concentrating on Super League because we're in top 6. And I think that could be the thing that trips Leigh up. Having said that, I'm going for the Leigh win.
It's quite funny actually, because this will make people giggle. It won't make you laugh, but I'll just say as it is. So earlier on, when Steph was on asking, did we want tickets for the Warrington end, and of course I said, of course we do. He said, does Reggie qualify for over 65? And he's just come back whilst you've been talking, saying he's defo over 65. He's gone senile.
Sorry, what are you lot doing in my front room? I thought I was watching
Oh, what a
Coronation Street. What's
legend.
going on?
That's funny.
I'll
That
tell you
is
what,
funny.
You can go off. You can go off a fella, can't you?
Oh, mate.
Over
laughing.
65.
Oh, mate, what a ledge. Alex Sharp, he's saying that the biggest shock will be Rhinos going back to back. That would be a shock. But for me, Lee, as you quite rightly say, this is for Lee to lose. I just say that because, Wakey, I mean, it'd be scandalous to the Wakey supporters if this happened, but surely Lee are in too good a form. I just can't see anything but a Lee win in this one. And let me tell you now, nobody will want to draw them in the quarters either. Nobody.
Especially not at Lee. Especially not at Lee.
No, absolutely. Then, of course, Leeds Wigan. Alex already got him. Like we said earlier in the programme, a lot of the time when there's two games in succession, Cup and League, they go either way. Wigan will be bruised by that performance at the DW. It was absolutely outrageously bad, wasn't it? Can Leeds go again?
I can see Wigan winning this, I really can. I can see them bouncing back. It's what happens in sport.
Yeah.
It's what happens. Wigan were embarrassed last week. They played against 12 men for 60 minutes almost. And they scored 2 points in that 60 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Shocking. They'll be embarrassed. And I think I generally get the feeling that Wigan will win this. It'll be a tight game, but I think Wigan will win it.
Well, I saw Liam Marshall was on the Super League show this week, and he's trying to get himself back fit for this. But actually, I don't think the wings have been the problem for Wigan. I think Thornley and Miskey have deputised really well for Wigan.
Wigan are in the fortunate position where they've got a number of wingers who would walk into any other Super League team.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. I think, but Leeds have got the fire. They have got the firepower. Leeds, there's no doubt about it. They've got the firepower. We've seen that. Yeah. We've seen it at Saints. We've seen it at Catalan. We've seen it now at Wigan. And they get up. If I'm a Leeds supporter, and Alex, I'll be interested to know Alex's view on this. But if I'm a Leeds supporter, I'm a little bit annoyed that they're getting up for the big ones, and they're not winning the bread and butter.
Yeah.
They're just not winning the bread and butter. I mean,
a lot, and Leeds aren't alone in that. There's a lot of teams that do that. A lot of teams turn up with the wrong mindset, and that's why you might think that Lee might turn up with the wrong mindset that it's an easy win, and they can't do that. That's what I was trying to say before I got accused of senility.
Senility, what a word! Oh, I love it, mate. Love it. Oh, dear.
Well, I'm going for Wigan.
Yeah. I mean, again, toss a coin on this. I think all I will say is if Leeds are behind at half time, I'll go Leeds at half time.
Brilliant. That's
Leeds. That's Leeds this season, isn't it? But no, I mean, I think it'd be a really, really good game. But like you, I think Wigan will bounce back.
I think they'll win.
I do as well. Right, and then we come on to, as you quite rightly say, other than the Wakey League game, still think they'll win that quite comfy. Salford Huddersfield. Salford do go into this game with a couple out. I think Andy Atkins took a blow. Shane Wright's a massive blow. Massive blow, Shane Wright.
Massive loss.
The form he's been in. We know that Salford are doing it tough. Still no Lafayette, etc. Huddersfield, great cut run last year. Based on what we've seen, really for both teams, really. Both of these teams have a genuine chance if they can put a run of 4 games together of winning the Challenge Cup, no doubt. On their day, either of these sides, more so Salford on form, but Huddersfield as well. But, both of these two teams could easily appear at Wembley. And there's going to be a tie against the winner of York and London waiting in the quarters. So somebody's going to have a right plum draw there. I think we know that's not going to be Warrington if they beat Catalan.
No.
But this one for me, really tough.
Could go either way, and it'll be a real treat for the 53 fans that are going to watch it. Did I say that out loud?
You did.
I just get one of those sneaky feelings that Huddersfield are going to win this. And I like
amount, you know.
Salford. I like Huddersfield. I like them both. I think they're both. I think they both deserve more when it comes to fan base.
Agreed.
Because Huddersfield
Agreed.
last season, Salford last season, Salford this season were playing fantastic stuff. They deserve more people to watch them, and I like Salford, but I just get the feeling that this will mean more to Huddersfield because they got there last year and should have won.
Hang on a moment. We need to raise a glass. Kobe McGilvery's birthday tomorrow. All the very, very best, sir. All the best.
Good evening. All the best.
All the best. This one's for you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kobe. Absolutely. Yes.
They got there last year, and they if they'd have converted the tries, the cup was theirs.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Mate. Yeah.
And I think that's maybe that might be a hangover into this season.
Maybe.
You don't know. When Warrington beat Saints in 2019, they won one game in about 10 after that, and it can affect you. And I think Salford, I think Huddersfield might just do that. They might just do that.
Yeah. I think Huddersfield. I think this is, I think Huddersfield will do this one. I don't know why. I just do.
Yeah.
I think last year, the fact that I think they will have. They were hurt by last year, and they will want to right the wrong of last year. Whether they go all the way is another thing. But do I think they'll fall at the first hurdle? I just don't think they will. I think, and of course, let's go back. They've already won at Salford this season.
Yeah.
And they won well. They won well. You remember that was the game where Trout got to. So, yeah. I think for me, I'm going Huddersfield. Obviously, BBC, we've got Castleford Hull FC on the Beeb, as well as Leeds Wigan. I think Leeds Wigan is the Saturday. Castleford Hull's the Sunday, I think. We've got Halifax Saints. I think that's Friday night, and I think Salford Huddersfield.
Why are they showing Halifax Saints and not Catalan Warrington?
Well, money. It's the only reason. I'd have preferred them to go and show Wakey Lee, because that would be a great game.
Or Salford Huddersfield. Huddersfield.
I think the Wakey Lee game would have been a
the
really
York
good
London game will be an absolutely fantastic game.
Yeah. Well, of course, Salford Huddersfield's on Viaplay, isn't it? It's on Viaplay.
Well, yeah, but sometimes it's not the headline grabbers that provide the best entertainment.
I think the York London game will be a good game, but Wakey Lee will be a good game as well. Really surprised. Well, I mean, no. Where's the entertainment scene? St Helens put 50 past Halifax. There's no entertainment there. Get one of the better games on. But anyway, people who are paying a lot more money than you and I
to get these decisions wrong, unfortunately.
To get these decisions wrong, absolutely. Right. So there's your Challenge Cup weekend. In terms of those of you like your NRL, well, we've got some belters for you. Brisbane Broncos against the Penrith Panthers this Thursday morning.
What
at
a game.
2:11. That is a belter.
Then
on Friday morning.
Spoiling that for me on Thursday night.
They always do. Friday, we've got the South Sydney Rabbitohs in great form, taking on the Parramatta Eels, who are really doing it tough this season. Parramatta not really hitting the straps at all. Then on Saturday, it will be the Dolphins taking on the Melbourne Storm, and that's at 25-11. So 3 NRL games, as well as 4 Challenge Cup games being shown on the TV. For those of you lucky enough to have Sky, BBC and Viaplay, you can watch them all. That has been another hour and a half of great entertainment.
Flown by
yet again. Only one thing to do, and that is, of course, to say our cheerios. We will be back this time next week for more Super League Raw Weekly. Get yourselves to a game. We are, of course, going to go out with the top performers, and there is a couple of new players that have found their ways into the charts. Stay around, Steph. There's been a changing of the guard in the hard meter makers. You'll still be a happy bunny, my friend. But yeah, Greg, great to have you company again, mate. We will be back.
Cheers. If I can remember, I'll be back next week. I might forget though.
I'll remind you, sir. I'll remind you.
Man of my considerable years. Who knows where I'll be?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're ending with the top performers. Enjoy your week, and keep telling your friends about us. Keep getting the membership.
Yes,
Look
please.
after yourselves. Take care.
Take care, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you.